to record its death spasms as it goes hurtling into the abyss. Over the years, the way we use mobile phones has changed dramatically. Before I went to prison, I kept mine in my pocket. I embrace rationalism. I'd still have my booster shot, even if what anti-vaxxers said was true. It's surely better to die in agony than live in a world where science knows less than right said Fred. Gadgets can be fun. One of the very few advantages women have over men in our sexist world is that they can tell a story about taking their vibrator on holiday and have it be kind of charming. They can tell a story where the vibrator went off in their suitcase and customs found it, and everyone will laugh. Whereas if a man tells a story about how he spent a fortnight in a hotel room plunging into an artificial vagina, it can only be seen as the grimmest of red flags. Joining us to discuss our dystopian tech nightmare, please welcome comedian Olga Koch. How you doing, Olga?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, You do a technology podcast, don't you?
I do, yes.
Do you have a fear of the way technology's going the way I do?
Oh, absolutely. But I think one of the most depressing parts of technology now is that, like, it lacks imagination whatsoever. Like, if you talk to some of the biggest visionaries in the field, they'll always only, like, imagine going to space. And I wish they imagined paying their taxes. Do you know what I mean?
Facebook helps our friends and family stay in touch with us, but it's not all bad. Flash C-3PO Mark Zuckerberg, the company's billionaire founder, recently launched the next phase of Facebook's relentless campaign to dominate consciousness, which he calls Meta. Here he is, looking like a cross between an ultrasound and that shark in Greenland that's been alive for 400 years. Awkwardly hosting an eerie and disturbing marketing campaign.
So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're going to talk about the future. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. Alright, perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome. Now, Deb from our studios team is joining me. Deb, do you want to take us through some of the exciting games in the pipeline for Quest?
Absolutely. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to work with incredible developers, like Vertigo Games, the studio behind fan favorite Arizona Sunshine.
I love Arizona Sunshine. That game basically got me and my friends through the first few months of the pandemic.
That's awesome. If you enjoyed that, Mark, I think you'll be excited that we're partnering with Vertigo on 5 more great games, from Deep Silver and others. We'll share more about this lineup very soon.
I think Mark Zuckerberg should release her family.
I think she was signing that she's been kidnapped.
Or, like, she'd worked out how to explain it all with sock puppets to him, and then last minute they're like, you can't have the puppets, it looks too weird. But it's still, like, muscle memory.
I mean, it was such an achievement to be weirder than him. Does he terrify you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know the metaverse is imaginary because Mark Zuckerberg has friends in it.
It's amazing watching the two of them having a conversation, and people think that the chat bits on shows like this are scripted. That is what fucking scripted conversation is like. It is howlingly, unconcealably unbearable.
Do people think that? At the COP conference, Boris Johnson discussed global warming with the Saudi Crown Prince, who promised that in future he will remove the remains of all murdered journalists by public transport. The kingdom recently unveiled plans for a vast and lavish smart city on its northwestern coast called Neom, which is an Arabic name meaning built almost entirely by slave labour. Here's a stilted, graphic-heavy report about the nightmarish development.
The Saudi Crown Prince announced the first phase of the Neom megacity, called The Line. The line will be a band-shaped city spanning 170 kilometers through Neo. It will be a belt of individual city modules connected by infrastructure. These modules will have a futuristic urban design composed of 3 layers. The pedestrian layer will be a continuous landscape of buildings surrounded by green areas with no cars and no streets. Beneath all this will be the service layer, a hidden layer of infrastructure that will transport goods. It would be powered by renewable energy and would feature advanced technology, including artificial intelligence, biotechnology, countless robots, flying taxis, and maybe even holograms, an artificial moon, and glow-in-the-dark beaches.
I've often said that there should be a futuristic city modelled on the A40.
It's strange, because I think they run into a problem of being too hypocritical. Like, I don't think you can have flying taxis, but then also stone women for showing their wrists. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you got to pick one or the other. You can't have both.
Yeah, it's mad that they basically let robots drive about the same time they've let women drive.
Also, like, is glow-in-the-dark beaches meant to be appealing? Do you know where else they have glow-in-the-dark beaches? Chernobyl.
That sort of straight line thing seems absolutely dementing, though, as well, doesn't it? Imagine being a postman there and go... Oh, sorry, the number started at the other end. Oh, Christ. So number 4 is... Okay.
The spread of the internet has thoroughly democratised not just incest porn, but information in general. Here's a raw and hard-hitting report on a radical tech enthusiast who's using the net to share designs for 3D printed guns.
Which parts are plastic, 3D printed, and which parts are metal?
Printed. That's basically what you see from this side.
So about 80% of it is 3D printed.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
About 80%, yeah.
So firstly explain to us, why are you doing this? Why are you 3D printing untraceable firearms?
I'm of the opinion that to wear firearms is a human right. And then a different reason why I'm risking everything to be able to own and bear firearms is because I am extremely enthusiastic about them. They are a hobby of mine.
That would kill someone. That could kill a lot.
Just like this.
Peppered with casings. Yep, just like that.
You could look at that and worry and go, yeah, there could be violence. Yeah, it could be terrorists get hold of them. Yeah, all of these things. But another thing was, they did look like they were having a laugh. They were just like, you got me with cases. Like, it did look like a giggle.
I'm glad that sunglasses and balaclava as a look are coming back, despite what everyone's been saying on the school run.
I enjoyed that he sounded like Mr. Blobby.
It is creepy and it is scary, but I don't actually think it's going to be a problem because, like, people aren't going to be 3D printing guns. My printer hasn't worked since 1998. You get, like, halfway through printing a handle, and then your printer will run out of cyan ink. It's going to be okay.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks to my guests, Miles Jupp, Kerry Pritchard McLean, Jamali Maddox, Susan McCabe, and Olga Cox. But before I go, I'd like to leave you with this thought. The United Nations declared 2021 the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labour, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I can step away from the child labour market for a year and not feel it financially. After all, what's a year in the scheme of things? I don't want to be that guy. People looking at me at parties, whispering to each other. You see him? That handsome Scottish guy who looks like he's been working out quite a bit recently. He's only been spending 2021 using child labour in his various schemes. Oh my goodness, says the swimwear model. That's terrible. But why does it make me want to sleep with him even more? Honestly, I don't know, says the other swimwear model, but I feel exactly the same. And the first swimwear model smiles and says, wait, Stephanie, I've got an idea. And Jasmine whispers huskily, is it an idea about sex? And Stephanie nods and looks across at me and mouths the word sex. Which I don't see because I'm checking my resting heart rate on my Fitbit, which is 164 beats per minute. The lowest it's been in years. And then some other stuff happens, which I'll be describing on my OnlyFans, but spoiler warning, it involves 2 swimwear models and an incident described by my cardiologist as a wake-up call. And yet my galloping libido is as nothing compared to that of the former Secretary of State for Health, Matt Hancock. Up until 2017, Matt Hancock was in his dream job, Minister for Taxi Handjobs. Hancock only accepted the role of Health Secretary on the understanding that he'd be able to wander around hospitals and froth his aching dipstick against MRI scanners and dialysis machines. But then along came COVID-19, the ultimate cockblock. Matt was frantic. He needed his 39 orgasms a day, or the punishing amounts of semen produced by his hyperactive testes would back up into his eyeballs. A meeting of Cobra was called, at which the Chief of Defence Staff laid out a plan, dubbed Operation Corridor Cockknot. It was believed that if they could get the Health Secretary out into the corridor, someone with strong enough hands could tie a knot in his wang. All they needed was a volunteer with a superhuman tolerance for getting jabbed in the hip by an overexcited minister's schlong. Gina Coladangelo didn't hesitate. What you don't see in the CCTV footage of her and Hancock is what happens afterwards. The lightning dip through his zipper, the darting wrists, and the look of sheer horror on Hancock's face as his phallus is twisted into a clove hitch. And Gina Coladangelo, while publicly shamed, has been hailed a hero in Whitehall, and in a private ceremony was awarded the UK's highest peacetime sexual award, the Prince Andrew Cross. Good night.
My breath, I love you till the end.